I'm Matt Lacas at VGS, and I want to talk about difficulty in video games. The culture right now in video game land is that we demand things outright. People forget that back in the day, difficulty didn't really have a slider. Back when video games didn't explain every step of the way, they were hard, and they were hard on purpose. Games like Contra, Gunstar Heroes, Battletoads, people love that game because of how difficult it is. And a game that I grew up playing that was extremely difficult, even to this day, is Mega Man. That entire series before it went to Mega Man X was based on how you can progress through the game by learning the patterns of the enemies and the game teaching you and scaling up the difficulty as you went. I had such a hard time. It wasn't an easy game for me, and that was part of the reason why I think back with such nostalgic charm about it and love, is that this is something that growing up I couldn't do. And it's something now that in Cuphead I still can't do. And it kind of furthers my point that I don't think developers owe you an ending to a game just because you bought it. For those of you who don't know what Cuphead is, it's a small indie game that came out about 2 weeks ago from Studio MDHR out in Oakville, Ontario, not far from headquarters. And what's great about this is this game has been in development for a long time, and it's finally here, and it's done so well. So Cuphead is a classic run-and-gun action game, heavily focused on boss battles. And what's really cool about it is that it's inspired by cartoons of the 1930s. So it has this wonderful aesthetic of the old Mickey Mouse cartoons that we just don't see anymore. And what's great about this kind of development is that the techniques that are used to make this game are the same techniques that were used in the 1930s. The reason why everyone's talking about Cuphead right now is because of how difficult it is. Every review that comes out, every piece of small debate, it's how difficult it is. And you know what? That's how the developers wanted it to be. So on their FAQs on their site, they say that their aim was to be tough but fair. Cuphead is challenging, but that makes victory feel so much more rewarding. They want to inspire us players to master the different gameplay mechanics that are available in Cuphead, because that's what the game is all about, is by learning the intricacies of the game. Now, they do hear you, they know the game is hard, so they have added something called Simple Mode. No, not Easy Mode, Simple Mode. Simple Mode is an easier way to play the game. It takes away parts of the content in the sense of you're not going to get, the bosses will be a little easier, they're not going to use so many projectiles. What's kind of shitty about the whole situation in a lot of people's eyes is that Simple Mode cuts content at the end of the game. You're not going to get to see the last 10% if you play it on Simple Mode. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. You should have to play this game the way it was intended on regular mode. They've gone on record saying that this is how the game should be played regularly. The development team doesn't mind promoting their gameplay values at the expense of certain types of players. The casual gamers who might not play side-scrollers or 2D retro games, maybe a lot of Call of Duty players or, FPS don't have the same skills. And that's so permissible, it's so important, because this is how they wanted you to play the game. This is how they wanted you to see their art. Now, I would say that the art isn't as gorgeous without the difficulty. I enjoy getting to the next part of the game and seeing what's in store for me because I've beaten what's come prior. What's wonderful about games like this is that they go back to what gaming really is. It's surpassing an obstacle. There are so many games nowadays that, are essentially an interactive movie. And there are games where there are choices, like in Mass Effect, but you can take those choices away just as simply, and you kind of lose what's wonderful about these games. And that's what Cuphead is coming back to. And these games, I want them to succeed, and they are. People today are demanding that the experience be the same for everyone. And I think that's just downright ridiculous. The developers did create an ending to this game. It's in the regular mode, and you just have to earn it. And I don't think that should be seen as an issue in gaming. We've had to earn everything in every other medium. If you think about it, when you watch Game of Thrones, you got to get through the really nasty kind of rape scenes that no one really likes watching to get to, the wonderful fights and the storylines there. Or you got to go through bad seasons of television. Like I had to watch season 4 of Buffy when I just really wanted to watch the ending of it, and I had to sit through that, and I had to earn my ending. And I think that's what this development team is going for: is you have to earn the right to get their ending. For those of you who are upset about this and, are on the other side of the fence and do want those difficulty sliders, you need to take a step back and realize that not everything is for everyone, and that's okay. There are games out there that not everyone likes, and there are pieces of artwork out there that not everyone understands. And isn't that the beauty of it all, is that I'm gonna have this experience and you might not. And there's this kind of specialness that kind of comes from that. If you want it, you can have it. It's there for you. It's for the taking. It just might take a little more time than usual. It might take a little more effort. And I don't think we're really used to that anymore, to that grind. Yeah, we talk about grind in video games. This is a little different. So guys, what do you guys think? Do you think that I'm completely off base and that, all games should just be accessible and have difficulty sliders and everything should be great for everyone? Or did I make some points today that you really liked? Just remember that video games are art. Bleed for your art. Keep listening to VGS.